Hey, you're listening to episode 5 of The Employer's Emphasis. I'm your host, Adam Varahachaikol with Employers, America's small business insurance specialist. The Employer's Emphasis features all kinds of content, from interviews with people not only from employers, but others within the insurance industry and great nonprofit organizations we support. We'll also have episodes dedicated to offering tips and resources to small business owners in various industries. Today, we have a special treat for you as I chat with one of the most respected names in workers' compensation insurance, Dr. Dwight Robertson. He's an Employer's Vice President, National Medical Director, and we'll be having him on the show periodically to go over some key employers' claims services. Today, he'll be covering the Injured Employee Hotline for injured or ill workers of policyholders who have not yet received medical treatment. He gave some interesting insight on the hotline, and I can't wait for you to listen to our conversation. But before we get to that, we want to tell you a little bit about our friends at Illinois Restaurant Association. Employers is their provider of choice for workers' compensation insurance. From Chicagoland to Carbondale and everywhere in between, the Illinois Restaurant Association is dedicated to promoting, protecting, educating, and improving the restaurant industry in the Prairie State. The IRA owns and produces Chicago Gourmet, the annual food and wine festival held in Millennium Park that unites hundreds of restaurants, chefs, and beverage experts for a weekend filled with food and drink tastings, entertainment, cooking demonstrations, book signings, interactive seminars, and more. The association is also a proud host of the James Beard Foundation Awards, which will be held in Chicago through 2027, and celebrates excellence in cuisine, culinary writing, and culinary education throughout the country. By the way, eligible Illinois Restaurant Association members can receive a 5% association credit on their workers' compensation insurance with employers. And now brand new Illinois Restaurant Association members pay just $99 per location for the first year in IRA membership dues when they're insured with employers for workers' compensation insurance. Certain restrictions apply. Employers specializes in meeting the needs of small businesses and has a strong presence in Illinois, where restaurants are one of its largest customers. Learn more about the Illinois Restaurant Association by visiting their website at illinoisrestaurants.org, that's illinoisrestaurants.org, or by calling 312-787-4000, that's 312-787-4000, and asking for membership. Now, without further ado, here in the Employer's studios to talk about the Injured Employee Hotline is Employer's Vice President, National Medical Director, Dr. Dwight Robertson. Doctor, thanks so much for joining us.
Hello, thank you.
Let's talk about the Injured Employee Hotline, and for the listeners out there, what's the number?
The number to call for the Injured Employee Hotline is 855-365-6010.
Thanks, and what is the Injured Employee Hotline?
This hotline is called by some a game changer for workers' comp. It offers to the policyholder an opportunity, if they have an injured employee, to get expert guidance from a nurse over the phone. The claimant who has been injured calls the 800 number and has a private conversation with the nurse, which is critical in developing a supportive relationship, an empathetic relationship with that claimant at the very beginning of their claim, of their response to the injury at work.
Go more in depth about how registered nurses on staff on the hotline are so vital for the injured worker.
Many of the nurses are naturally bilingual, and the service also offers a whole host of other languages that can be used, again, to communicate directly with the claimant. Guidance from a medical perspective is offered by the nurses, and the nurses are also able to help direct and guide the claimant into the proper level of care, as well as an exact location. For example, an urgent care center down the street that's in the network.
Yeah, the Injured Employee Hotline benefits not only the injured worker, but the policyholder of the small business. Let's talk about the effectiveness of this program.
Because of the supportive discussion that is occurring, the ultimate use of attorneys is greatly reduced. The satisfaction by the claimant is greatly enhanced. The use of the network is enhanced. The first prescription occurs within a network pharmacy if a prescription is needed. Is also gathering the state-specific information that would be used for first reports of injury. So because of that, the lag that often occurs with first reports of injury has disappeared because we are gathering that information and presenting it as required by the state at the same time that we're offering this supportive service to the claimant.
What's been the response to the Injured Employee Hotline since its implementation?
Satisfaction is greatly increased. The claim experience begins in a very positive way. And, by the way, 25 to 30% of the time, the guidance provided by the nurse results in the claimant self-treating. And generally, that 25 to 30% of the time, the actual claim can be avoided completely through the self-treat.
Yeah, and it's important to note that the Injured Employee Hotline should not be used to report an emergency, right?
Yeah, those claimants should be taken directly to the emergency room as soon as possible. In every other type of case, but the absolute emergency, this service can optimize the experience, optimize the claimant's medical result, get the service into the network, get the right level of care, and generally avoid the emergency room.
And talk about telemedicine opportunities with the Injured Employee Hotline.
If, in fact, the claimant has the proper type of injury, that offering can be given by the nurse over a secure phone video network. Often we can avoid an emergency room experience because of the nurse's advice and the telemedicine opportunity as part of this experience.
Before we wrap up Injured Employee Hotline on the employer's emphasis, is there anything else you'd like to add?
All in all, this service is a tremendous breakthrough for workers' comp in beginning the case in a positive, optimal fashion and ending up with a satisfied claimant.
Dr. Dwight, it's been a pleasure. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you.
Once again, policyholders and its workers who are injured on the job can call the Injured Employee Hotline 24 hours a day, 7 days a week at 855-365-6010. Thanks again to Dr. Dwight Robertson, Vice President and National Medical Director, for joining us. And thank you for listening to this edition of The Employer's Emphasis. If you like the podcast, we'd love for you to follow or subscribe on your favorite podcasting app, whether it's Podbean, Apple Podcasts, Google Play, Stitcher, or Spotify. And that way you'll be notified every time a new episode is uploaded. Before we go, be sure to head to our website at employers.com, where you can find small business tips, resources, and request a workers' compensation insurance quote. Also follow Employers on social media on Facebook by searching Employers, America's Small Business Insurance Specialist. We're on Twitter and Instagram at the handle @employers_ins. Search Employers on LinkedIn, and on YouTube our channel is at Employers Video, all one word. Thanks again for joining us. I'm Adam Varahachaikol with the Employer's Emphasis, and we'll catch you next time.